Monday night football for podcast, man. Yeah, it's all things football, not just Manchester United. I've got my guest with me here. Let's hope this guy is. Let's hope this guy appears. But yeah, man. It's all things football, guys. There's a lot that's been going on football related. That comes obviously with the transfers. We're in the transfer period, we're in preseason period. The season only 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks away. So there's a lot to go through. I mean, teams have been doing their businesses, and yeah, I'm just waiting for this guy. I hope this time he joins me. Man, I did the last show. I think it was last week, Friday on my own, and yeah. I hope you guys had a lovely day, man. And oh, there's a lot. There's a lot to go through, man. Um, hopefully, this guy does join me today, and it's not a thing like doing solo. It's good to have different perspectives from different people. Not just for me, because someone else has to be positive. I've never really been positive because obviously, um, if your team is doing rubbish, how how can you expect to be um, positive about this? Um, so I'm trying to add him. If I can add him, then we can, um, excuse the delay. Excuse the delays. Um, I'm trying to add this man. I can add him there. We shall start. We shall start. Network is a bit crazy, guys. Forgive us for taking a little bit of time. Um, we've really got the crappiest network in the whole of Africa. That's an underrated comment. Um, yeah, a lot has been happening, guys. I mean, from your Chelsea's, there's been movements from Chelsea, from the Italian league, Roma, Juventus. There's a lot. Is a lot. Is a lot. So yeah, well, thanks. Let's hope this man comes and joins me now so we can get this started. Black Eyed Peas. Um, yeah, a lot of movements, like I said, have been happening. A lot of movements between. Oh, finally.
Finally.
Molweni.
Molo, Mhlekazi, all right?
Right, wena.
No, man, all is well, man. What's happening your side?
Yeah, man. On my side, man, it's a cold. It's been, you know how Limbs is, man. It's hella cold. Surprisingly, but yeah, man. How's the Joburg vibes?
Yeah, it's very cold, yeah. Things are looking better though,
Mm,
in terms of load
yeah,
shedding
yeah,
where I am. Other places, yeah,
yeah.
it's very dark days. And yeah,
Hmm.
man, besides people dying at travels, it's really
Yeah,
it's really bad. Yeah.
yeah, man. That's why some of us have been indoors, and this thing has actually reached our side as well. So it's actually closer to home to for all of us at this point.
Yeah.
But it will solve itself, man. It will solve itself, and it looks like it is slowly, subsiding. It's not a lot that's happening. But yeah, man. All things football. I know you've been following, man. I mean, you have your own channel, Boogerman TV, all sports and all the training and stuff like that. But football. Obviously, I mean, this podcast is not just about Man United. We both Man United fans, but um, there's a lot that's been happening around football. You've got the Barcelona situation. That's the one I actually wanna
Yeah.
discuss tonight. We have to get through that one. And obviously Chelsea, um, Roma have also got their transfer on their way with Paulo Dybala. Man United have signed Lisandro Martinez, as a third signing now, and there's still that De Jong thing with Barcelona that's still happening. We don't know what's happening there. So yeah, I mean, we can first tackle. I don't know. It's up to you, and you get to choose. We can first tackle the Man United quandrum, with the signing and Lisandro Martinez. We can look at Roma, or we can just look at Barcelona first. Up to you. Which one do we go
with? Well, I mean, let's start with Man United and speak about them and see where to go from there. I personally feel like Man United are still 2 signings away from being quite right on my side. From what they've signed, I mean, those are positive signings. Those are signings to be commended by Ten Hag. Ten Hag has really done not too bad. Preseason is preseason. Players are getting into fitness. Players are getting into how to play 90 minutes. You get some players not really even playing the full 90 because they're rotating the squad, seeing who's actually gonna be in the final team that will actually start for the season. So I am more positive than than what was happening last season. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, man. I mean, Man United have made 3 signings in total. They need around 5 minimum. So, I mean, it's all good with the transfers, but then, another topic obviously on top of that is the Ronaldo situation, at the end of the day is really messing up like what we're trying to do. Personally, it's disturbing the harmony within the team, and it needs to be sorted. Like everyone has said that it needs to be sorted sooner or later, and I don't know what's happening. Personally, I'm not gonna speak on it because I'm not close or personal to Ronaldo. So, if he says it's personal issues, but at the same time, his agent is going around offering him to several clubs. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where to stand with that personally. So, do you think that this situation needs to be sorted out as quick as possible, and where do you stand? Because a lot of people are saying, Ronaldo out, we can just do with Martial, and people are torn. Some are torn, obviously, saying that we should we should just bear with him for one more season, try and keep him, because we know this club in the way it functions in terms of transfers. We may let go of Ronaldo and not replace him. I don't trust this board. So for people who want to have a safer option, obviously would say try and keep him for one more season. He's a professional anyways. He's not gonna throw his toys out of the Prem if we don't let him move. And yeah, where do you stand with this? Do you trust the board to replace him if we let him go now? Because it's already late in the transfer window, and we're very slow with our transfers. So yeah, where do you stand with that?
I personally feel that for Cristiano Ronaldo, for stability for his career, I'm looking at him as a player for longevity. For him, he should have left at least a couple of weeks ago. Because it's clear to me, I mean, if an agent is speaking that he wants to leave or he wants to, it's not coming out of nowhere. It has to be coming from, it has to be coming from the player. The player, the player of what has been happening at Man United for the past, not just now, I mean, he understood when it came to like for him to sign for such a team, and he saw the problems that were there. But like, I think in his head, he couldn't foresee that the problems are deeper than he thought. He thought he would come there, Man United will just gel because he's there, and that wasn't the case, So for me, Cristiano should have really left three weeks ago. In terms of like how Man United are dealing with him, it's I foresee that Man United are gonna have similar problems with other players, even a player like Martial, because even Martial blows from hot to cold, where a player doesn't really want to play. I mean, even though he's a professional, he's a player that will give his heart out there, but like Cristiano must just he must just go. I mean, after if they can maybe have him for like maybe the rest of the season or till next season, he must leave after the next season because it's clear to me. I mean, he shouldn't be there to end his career in the right way.
Yeah, man. Ah, man. Yeah, man. I'm actually with you. I think he should have left. I think he shouldn't have even came back. Personally, as much as nostalgia out of the way and everything, I think he should have just went to Man City, to be honest. I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but for both parties, it was just uncomfortable. Even throughout last season, you could see that the guy was just he didn't know what was happening. Like I feel like Ronaldo didn't follow us that much. He actually thought that our problems were maybe fixable. We were on the up, that sort of thing. And whilst we were complaining about Solskjaer, even when we finished second, because people forget this very quickly. When we finished second, it was like it was a flawed season, if you know what I mean. There were no fans at the stadiums. There was absolutely zero pressure. You understand? So these players are not when it matters most, they always crumble under pressure. So with no fans at the stadium, that's an incentive already. No fans at the stadium. Liverpool having multiple injury, players out because most of their players were out the entire season. They were literally playing with midfielders at centre back. You know what I'm saying? And we also had Chelsea under Lampard. And then Tuchel only came in and joined when almost the season was over. You understand? So it was a lot of things that people forget. Context is everything in football. You can't ignore that those teams, if those teams were played well, or rather they didn't suffer from injuries and whatever that they had to undergo, Man United would not be second. We would have never finished second because if you think about it, Chelsea also in terms of number of points, they got closer to us when Tuchel joined. When Tuchel joined, that's when they got closer to us in terms of points. They started gaining more points. And in terms of the league standings, didn't they finish third or something? I think they finished third. Or was it fourth? So that's the things that people overlook. They're like, oh no, before Varane, before these guys came, before that guy came, we were better off. We're not better off. They forget we didn't make the group stages. We didn't make it past the group stages of the Champions League. And we got relegated to the Europa League. We lost that as well. So if anyone is trying to tell me that we were better before than this season, it's false. It was all false. So for me personally, what happened is that when Ronaldo came, when it was Varane, Ronaldo, and Sancho, when they all came, it only built up the pressure of the current squad. That's all it did, and the manager. And I did say that now it's three world-class players who are coming in. What is the excuse that Solskjaer is going to have now? Let's see what he's going to do. And what did he do? He crumbled under pressure. The season before that, what did he do when we finished second? He crumbled under pressure. The last game that we were supposed to win in the group stages, in the Champions League, the one that would have got us through to the last 16, we fumbled it. We fumbled 3 semifinals. People forget this. This is what I'm saying. We fumbled 3 semifinals. 3 semifinals and a final in the same season. You understand? So for me, it was all about the mentality. Mentality is everything. The mentality was not there. The players here, they may not be the worst players in the world, but the mentality was not there from the get-go. So, I mean, bringing in these world-class players actually just literally exposed these players because they knew that now they have to win. There's no shield hiding, that the shield that they have to hide behind and say, we don't have the quality. No one expects us to win. We can go for it low key, and if we don't win, it's not failure. It's okay as long as we got top 4 or whatever. There's none of that. Now, when Ten Hag has joined now, if we get our hands on De Jong, for example, I heard that Anthony's situation. I'm not sure what's happening there, but he's overpriced apparently. So the Man United board isn't even looking at that. So, but yeah, man. I mean, looking at I'm gonna address this De Jong one because it's very vital. Would you still take De Jong now, Frankie De Jong? Because I know he's very essential to how Ten Hag wants to play. The ball from the back all the way to the transition from the defense to midfield and to the forwards. So, like, where do you stand with the De Jong thing? Because I'm personally fed up. I know he's there because he's owed money. He doesn't want to move because he's owed money. But what do you think we should do? Do you think we should still carry on with this transfer, or should we find alternatives?
I think at this point in time we should find alternatives. It's only fair. I mean, it's 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away till the transfer season is almost shut, and you don't want to have a situation where you're signing a player at the last minute and that player is not keen on signing for us. On the flip hand, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. He would be a very, very good signing for what Ten Hag is trying to do for Man United. So, for me, it's a give and take situation because we actually need this type of player in our squad. And yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, De Jong is very strong. He's very technically gifted. He can see a pass. He can break down. He can even break down defenses as well. So he's very critical when it comes to even facilitating a player that's aging like Cristiano. I mean, Cristiano is not a spring chicken anymore. So he would need a guy to like pass him the ball, or even Martial. I mean, Martial, for some reason, I think he's losing pace. I'm not sure if you're not seeing that. So it would be easier for him, for Man United to actually still go for that player, even though I don't think De Jong is opting for Man United. Why I say this? Because he hasn't released any statements saying that that's the team I want to go for, or any other team he wants to go for. So he also has mixed feelings.
I mean, his situation is kind of.
His situation is kind very, very. It's hard to answer because like you do not know his mind and psyche. You don't want to delay till the last week of signing. That's just bad for the team. Rather get the player now so he can take him through preseason, so he can gel within the team. They know niggly injuries, all those things, to make sure that we make all our signings, all our important signings. We're not talking about signings that we want to get in the back door. We're talking about signings that are critical for a team to make it into the top four or even make it into winning the FA Cup, winning a Champions League. So for me,
Yeah.
De Jong is very, very important in terms of what Man United want to do for the next 5 years.
Yeah, no. Perfectly said, man. I mean, his situation is very complex, you know. I mean, it's very easy to say that he doesn't want to join. You know, that's the easiest way to, but um you know, when I look at it from outside, it's just, I think it's just the situation with him and Barcelona, you know, personally, and I wouldn't be surprised because Barcelona haven't really paid their what you call it, they haven't really paid, they owe players, a lot of players that actually took the wage cut during COVID, you know, so they told players to reduce their wages around COVID times. So they owe multiple players wages. So for him to leave, he's looking at it like, I feel like if he says he wants to leave, he's gonna forfeit. He's gonna forfeit what is owed to him. You know, so maybe that may be the reason why his agent keeps telling him, keeps saying that you are not be here, because it puts you in a strong position. Because if we remember this correctly, um Barcelona need players registered. They've signed players, but those players are not registered. You understand? If De Jong doesn't leave, then they cannot register those players. So right now he's literally playing let's see who's gonna blink first between you and I, you know. So Barcelona, maybe they may be also trying to, maybe what also hinges on the deal is the fact that they're trying to make Man United pay the wages that they owe De Jong in terms of the deal, so they're killing two birds with one. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, but
For De Jong,
obviously,
okay,
I'm not.
yeah, but like De Jong is a special
Yeah,
player, but like I don't think Man United should be risking that move. From
yeah. I
he's
mean,
good. He's an excellent player. Is what's needed. But
yeah,
at the flip side, I mean, it could end up being a very, very bad signing, like what happened with that player who Fernandez. I mean, Fernandez came through. He looked promising,
yeah.
and then at the end, he just
Mm.
became nonsense. He just became a shit player. So it could just happen with De Jong as well.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's divided because I mean, if it's the guy that the manager wants, you know, and he played under this manager, and this is the manager that put him on that platform where Barcelona are able to come through and buy him. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't really want to sit down on the De Jong thing because it hasn't happened yet. You know, everyone is running with this, like literally every football channel is running with the story. So I don't want to dwell too much on it. But I want to actually focus on the guy we just got, Lisandro Martinez.
Oh man, that's a
Um,
good signing.
you know,
Yeah.
I've watched some of his games at international when he was playing for Argentina, and I've watched some of his games while he was playing for Ajax last season. So I mean, the guy is he reminds me of your guys like Cannavaro, you know, Puyol, Cannavaro, those sort of. He's very feisty. He knows he's a little bit shorter than your average, you know, expected defenders. In the English game and everywhere else, they expect the defenders to be very tall in height. But he's good at he's got excellent jumping ability. He's actually very aggressive as well in terms of defending. I saw him mark out. I actually saw him mark Haaland out of the game. You know, when Dortmund played Ajax, and Haaland is a beast in terms of physicality, and he's actually tall as well. So I mean, in this case, it's not about height. It's about him being able to know and position himself in the right position to be able to make essential tackles, to be able to dispossess people when they need to be dispossessed,
He's also able to play the ball from the back. His ability to play the ball from the back is also essential. He's also he also could play in midfield as well in CDM because he used to be that. Funny enough, before Ten Hag converted him to a centre back, so he can play numerous positions. I feel like he's exactly what we need. Yeah, we overpaid for him, but who do we blame for that? Again, it goes back to the Man United board because if we went earlier, we could have got him for a lot cheaper than what we're paying for right now. The reason why we're paying a lot of money for this guy, because I want people to understand this, is because Man United let this thing drag on. While other teams were getting players from Ajax, we were just sitting and waiting. I don't know what we're waiting for, personally, because you have to understand that these teams have to replace these players. You understand? So essentially, Ajax wanted to price us out of this deal. They priced Arsenal because Arsenal was also linked with him as well. So they priced us out of this deal, and but we still we were forced to pay the full fee because now our main target didn't want to come here as well. So I mean, yeah, man. I mean, what do you think of the Lisandro Martinez deal and what it could mean for our centre back? Does Maguire sit on the bench finally, or will it be Varane who's sacrificed?
I think weird enough to answer that question, I think Varane will be sacrificed simply because I'm thinking that I'm just thinking that Ten Hag will put Maguire as captain. That's just what I'm thinking. But this is a brilliant signing for Man United. This is what Man United have been looking for the past like 3-4 years. I mean, a midfielder that knows how to play, is strong, is fit, he can run with the ball. I mean, this guy he has what it takes to become like even I'll put him a Man United legend even at that point. Like he
Yeah.
he's a very, very good signing. It's very promising, that signing. We'll see what happens. I mean, who would he combine with, which is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting who he combines with, because central midfielders need a combination of, like, they can't be doing everything. They can't be breaking down all plays. There has to become a point where there has to be a sweeper type, like what happened with I'll make the example of Makaleli and Lampard. You need that type of synergy in the actual midfield. So this is a very, very good signing, bro. Very good for what Man United, the caliber of what Man United should be signing. This is a very good signing.
No, definitely, man. He looks like he has the mentality as well. The good thing is that he likes to fight. He's very aggressive. He likes to
Similar
fight for the
to
ball a lot.
what King used to do, like he has that spirit. He has that spirit.
No, definitely. I mean, besides Man United, what do you think about Chelsea, man?
Chelsea,
I mean,
are looking good. Let me tell you that.
yeah.
Yeah. Chelsea are looking very, very good. Ryan Sterling is a very, very good signing for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, they looking like a powerhouse right now. I mean, they probably gonna be contending for the league. They look like,
Yeah.
if they can challenge for even Manchester City, I mean, they looking very, very strong from what I've seen, from what the signings that they've made is very, very good.
No, definitely, man. I mean, we also look at the fact because I actually wanted to bring Mami. I think I'll talk to him. I think maybe on a
Mm,
Wednesday we'll bring him through to discuss Chelsea in depth in terms of, it's the first time they've actually had what should I call it, two Senegalese internationals on one
mm,
in one team. It's the first time Chelsea have done that. So with both Koulibaly and obviously their goalkeeper being Senegal internationals.
mm,
So yeah, man, Chelsea look strong. The new owner, he's trying to prove himself. He's trying to show that he's not like the Glazers, because people assume that every American is probably, like the way the Glazers are at Man United. But obviously moving away from Chelsea, which I know for a fact, I think they'll finish ahead of us. That's almost
mm.
given, to be honest. Moving away from Chelsea, Liverpool is interesting. A Liverpool situation is very interesting because I mean, Mane left, right? And that's arguably, if not, was their best player at Liverpool. They replaced him with Darwin Nunes. Um,
He's a
there's people actually are not seeing what I'm seeing right now, but I feel like Liverpool are weakened to some extent because if you're gonna tell me that uh, Lucas Diaz is, he's looking good, but I've never seen that guy play week in, week out. It's different pressure when you play week in, week out. Liverpool used to rotate last season. So obviously with Lucas Diaz going, um, they also should I call it? And with Darwin Nunes is different from your Mane or anyone like that. So how do you think they're gonna have to slightly change their style of play? So what do you think? Because this is tricky for me as well when I see it. They're gonna have to change their style of play. They can't play the same way they played last season if they if they have a figurehead up front. And I see the same thing with City with Haaland. You understand? So I mean, how do you think that the slight style in play, or rather them slightly changing their style of play, may factor in them
most,
um,
most
being a
definitely.
little bit weakened going into next season?
Most definitely. I mean, the loss of Mane has been probably the biggest tipping point to Liverpool because the way they used to attack it was like no other attack. I mean, Mane this side with that
Mm,
crazy pace that he has, and then they have Salah who's ridiculously quick. Nunes, I mean, that guy
mm,
is almost half the pace, so they can't even use the pressing form up front. So like for them, it's gonna be very interesting to see Liverpool play without Mane and Salah at the same time. It's gonna be very very tricky for them to
mm,
for the pressing game that the coach uses for Klopp. I mean, Klopp, yeah, it's gonna be difficult. I just don't see him win like a major cup like Champions League. I don't see them doing it, unfortunately.
mm.
Maybe they will fight for top four. I'm making that prediction right now. Maybe they'll sneak
Yeah.
into the top four. I mean, if they can come as close as they were last season, I'll be like, man, hands down, this coach is one of the best coaches for the past 10 years. If he can do that,
Mm,
bruh,
mm,
then I'll give him hands down. Like he's probably one of the best coaches that we've
mm,
seen in the past 10 years. But
mm,
I highly doubt this, that it will probably happen at Liverpool. Something miraculous
mhm.
will have to happen. Maybe Liverpool fans will probably think I'm just crucifying them because I'm a Man United fan. No, I'm just looking at them from what I'm seeing, from
Mm.
from Liverpool right now. They need to do something really drastic. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, man. I mean, it's tricky to see, especially with new signings. I know they've worked out well so far for Liverpool, but we'll see how they adjust. Klopp is also a great manager, which actually helped Liverpool throughout this period. And if there's anyone who can pull them through, I think it's him. Uh, but as soon as he leaves, I honestly don't see Liverpool being um, that much of a threat, to the likes of City and um, Chelsea, for example. But um, I want to move on slightly to the Barcelona situation because this is the one that we need to get needy and greedy on. I mean, where do you stand with this Barcelona thing? Because now, I mean, they're in debt. People are telling us that okay, they sold their rights, their TV rights, they sold their stadium rights as well, stadium naming rights to some sort narrow that debt a little bit, and reduce it to a certain amount where they're able to like register and sign players. But the worrying thing is that they're still hugely in debt. If not, I think they're closer to 1 billion still in euros in terms of debt. So La Liga has this rule and this strict rule where they're like, the debt can be so much. You know what I'm saying? The debt can be so much, and your wage structures can be so like you can't pay players more than this much all in together. So the reason why Barcelona haven't been able to register certain players is because of that rule. It's not because they can't afford it, but it's because of the rules of La Liga and how they function. But personally, where do you stand? Because I feel like it's a disgusting situation because you have players who are unpaid, and it's not just De Jong. We were discussing De Jong now and saying, he refuses to leave. It's not just De Jong. It's Gerard Piqué. It's several other um, uh, first team players at Barcelona as well who are told to reduce their wages during COVID. Now, the deal was for them to reduce their wages, and in response, Barcelona would pay them. You understand? Would compensate them for doing so. But it looks like they're not wanting to do. They don't want to do that, but yet they still want to make signings on top of that. So for me, that just tells me that they're saying up yours to all these players who who reduce their wage. So what do you think the situation is gonna lead? Because
Mm,
apparently it may lead to them going to court for this
mm.
because it's a very serious situation. People think that this is not serious. It's very serious. That's why someone said, I think in the next 4 or 5 years, if things don't get better at Barcelona, they could be liquidated.
Mm, mm, mm. Wow. I no la pena we are better. Ke a peta ngempela. Barcelona Barcelona is looking very, very bad because top-notch
Mm,
players is gonna filter to them for
mm,
for even coming there. I mean, Lewandowski is still on standby. We do not know if he's gonna sign or not. Word is that he's on the verge, but I highly doubt it because of the debt problem. So, yo, ay. Barcelona, I think, have had problems since way before even Lionel Messi wanted to leave the club at some point because they had a
mm.
problem of like not paying his fees because his fees are also kind of high. So like, and then there were like issues about he might be leaving to this is like 4 or 5. He might be going to the English league. But like, I do not know what's gonna happen to my team because it's like it's looking looking if they face liquidation, this is gonna be something that's gonna be very, very sad when it comes to Barcelona. I mean, development has. Yeah.
This network issue, guys. Yeah. No, excuse us for the for sort of like the network issues, guys. Network is a bit of a problem tonight, like I said. But yeah, I mean, Barcelona's situation is sad. It's very sad, and I think Laporta is not he's helping some sort, coming up with ideas on where they can like reduce their debt and how they can make a little bit of money. But for me, it's the principle. People say this is just business. It's the principle. Why aren't you paying your players? You owe your players. You know what I'm saying? And you're refusing to pay them. Like, how would you feel? Like, let's say you're working for a company and they're telling you they have money problems. Oh, we've got money problems. This is why we haven't paid you. That's why we told you to reduce your salaries, and we're gonna have to owe you, and we'll remunerate you later on, and whatnot, whatnot. And you see this company, what it does. They haven't paid you the money that they owed you, and they've told you to take a salary cut, saying that no, it's because we can't afford to pay all of you guys this. You see them registering or rather, you see new people walk through the door. You see new employees walking through the door, like new colleagues. What would you do? Like, this is the mindset that people forget. Like, if you're in those positions, what would you do? Like, personally, what would you do if you saw that?
I would leave the company or look for another job somewhere else. It's basically what I would do, because that's what's gonna be happening to Barcelona. I mean, Aubameyang, I mean, is a top-notch player. What's gonna happen to a player like him? I mean, it's crazy what's happening at Barcelona right now.
Yes, my guy. Heck yeah, that's another situation, man. I mean, but honestly, I really don't understand how they're able to still players are still wanting to go there. Like, I don't understand the notion. What are they promised that we don't know?
Barcelona have signed
It doesn't
quality player, Ronaldinho, Kaku. I mean, what they find is Patrick Kluivert. It's the history that has been the Maradona, Romario, all these players. So, like, it's obvious. I mean, it's the same thing with Man United. People will still want to go there because of what they've done in previous years. So that's not even to speak about the cups that they've won for years at Nou Camp. I mean, they were able to make a player of Messi's weight and heights one of the best players in the world, booming from development. So, like, it's easy of why players would want to go there, because they have the best structure in terms of even better than most leagues. I mean, Fabregas came from there. So, like, dog, I mean, yeah, they testament to like development. The development structures are on another level. Like, it can't be touched by any, in my opinion. They probably the best development when it comes to nurturing players in the world. I'll just say it like that, and that's why players would want to go there.
No, man, I can understand. I can understand, like, what you call it, like your younger players obviously going into development and stuff. But with the older players, I'm in the situation. That's what I'm saying. I think there's something that we know that. I mean, there's something that they were promised that we don't know, because if the club is in a serious financial crisis and you as a player you go in there, obviously there must have been reassurances as to, oh, okay, no, don't worry, you won't have to reduce your salary, we will pay you, that sort of thing. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes because Lewandowski's there. They also signed who's this lad? From Leeds. Um, they're also looking at Bernardo Silva. They also, so Barcelona are still registering players, or rather, should I say, they're still buying players. But then now the registration thing is the one that's
which is
it's still tricky, still tricky. But yeah, man, I mean, moving away from Barcelona, Roma are looking good.
Mm.
Are looking good. Uh, they got the most unlikely transfer over the line. We thought this player was gonna go to Inter Milan or somewhere else in England or wherever. But yeah, Paulo Dybala has just completed his medical with Roma.
Mm.
Great signing for Roma. Mourinho's building.
Mm. Yeah,
What do you think about that,
one
man?
is still doing special things out there, and he's still able to build more teams. I mean, and win more cups. So AC Roma, I mean, this is the perfect signing for them to rekindle. I mean, even trying to push for the Champions League, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is a very good signing for Mourinho. I mean, he had this player, he had this type of player. He had Makaleli at one point, where Makaleli signed from Real Madrid, and people thought that Makaleli was close to being finished, and then he signed for Chelsea, and he became like a legend at Chelsea. So this is a very good signing.
Yeah, man. Roma. They're trying. I think they're pushing for Champions League qualification. Yeah. So Mourinho clearly, obviously after winning the UEFA Conference Cup, he's been backed by the Roma president. It's not just him that was signed. I think they also, who else did they sign? Roma. Obviously, they still have Tommy Abraham, who has an incredible goal scoring record last season. So he can only get better as well. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. I see them personally. They could make top four this coming season.
Yeah.
Juventus have also made, we're forgetting about Juventus here. Juventus have brought Pogba on a free, again scammed up. We got scammed in the process. It's always Man United somehow involved. So yeah, man, Paul Pogba is at Juventus, and where do you think Juventus finished? Because AC Milan and slackers, Inter Milan and slackers too. So what do you think? Do you think they finish second this season, or do you think they win the league?
Oh, it's very awkward for Juventus, because even with the signing of Pogba needs to somehow rekindle what he had back then. Excuse me. Back then, of what his scoring capability, I don't think Juventus are going to be challenging even for the league, unless Pogba goes haywire in the league somehow, some way, and they're able to sign Cristiano, and get Cristiano somehow, and then they will become a more solid team. I just don't see them doing anything. Maybe ending third or fourth. Yeah, I don't see them doing anything really.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm on the fence. Like,
I'm
I'm kind of like,
yeah, I'm on the fence with this one.
yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah, you caught like yeah, I took the words out your mouth. I'm on the fence with Juventus. I really do not know what to think about them. Like they're just a very strange looking team.
Man, I mean, they're also people forget this. They're also in debt, man.
Mm.
And I don't know what the rule is in the Italian Serie A in terms of but obviously it's not as strict as the La Liga rules in terms of the whole wage cap and all that. But we'll see, man. I mean, if they let Dybala join Roma on a free, I mean,
Mm.
I don't know. And then now there's apparently rumors that De Ligt might join Bayern. Apparently, there's a deal that's actually
That's a
they
ridiculous
agreed
deal.
on an 80 million.
No, that's well, that's what the news.
Bro, I
I
really
saw that
don't know.
news like 2 days ago. I'm like, no, this is just a funny. It's a funny world we live in. I mean, deals were never done like this. I mean, like what's happening in football, bro? It's corruption. I know, bro.
My guy, 80 million euros, man, for a guy that was hardly even starting, bro, last season and the season before.
I know it can't be so. It can't be so.
My guy, it's happening, bro. I laughed. At first,
I saw
it was a rumor.
I'm actually shocked you're talking
Yeah.
about it. I'm like, I do not know. Like that is the most laughable amount of money that you can pay for an upcoming player like that. I mean, really, unless like is he scoring goals? Is he scoring like 50 goals a season? Like, what is this guy doing? Nah, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Now this Juve the Juve owner, right, and then the sporting director, like you have to give them credit. If they could get that much money out of selling a player that's not performing, it says a lot, man. It says a lot. They're very greedy in terms of how they conduct business. When you want a Juve player, you're always gonna overpay. I've noticed that thing. Like if the player's not maybe left with a year or something contract, you're in trouble. You're gonna have to pay like the big bucks. So I mean Bayern, I think Bayern just wanna spend because they let go of Lewandowski. Obviously I think Ginebri is not gonna leave. So they may try and maybe get a striker or something after De Ligt. So I don't understand how they paid 88. Like Man United would be ridiculed for this deal. You know what I'm saying? But De Jong, I mean, De Jong has left for this. Like this is actually like I honestly laughed at this deal because it was like I thought these journalists are bored. They didn't know what they were running with now. It was just a rumor, and they just wanted to put out something out there because they've run out of stories with Man United and everyone else. But this actually happened. The guy actually had a video out where he was like, "Okay, thank you to Juventus for having me, and yeah, on to the next journey." He's gone. He's gone now. He's gonna have his medical with Bayern, and I don't know what kind of a deal do you think this is for Bayern, because this is weird from Bayern. Bayern never usually spend that kind of money. So how this happened, I honestly I don't understand.
It's not in their history to do such a thing. Like it's not even in their pedigree. It's like it's something they've never done. It seems to me like they have no morals. Like they've lost morals, or they haven't won the like. What is happening there? Like I don't understand, because Bayern Munich don't do desperate signings. They sign quality players like every year, bro. Like Lewandowski wasn't just a fluke deal. This was a player that was scoring so many goals. So and he straight they signed quality players, right? Like they don't even drop the ball there. when it comes to signing a player.
Mm.
Was like that's just ridiculous. I don't understand. I don't understand like how what is happening. Who are the owners? The owners have to take blame or something. Like something really needs to happen at
Yeah.
Bayern Munich, or else they'll become like the PSG. You know, where they're signing players. They will just become like PSG and not win anything. And
Yeah.
that's
This is
and that's the problem.
this is a bit sad.
It's a bit
This is a bit sad
worrying
because
for Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich don't do this. They don't do this throughout their history. Look at the players that they've signed for the past like 15 years. They don't do this at all. Because they signed like top-notch players, but like abadlala avuthiwe, like they don't even waste time on a player that's upcoming. They signed like top quality shit.
You know what I'm saying? So this guy now, I think he's the most he's the record signing. So I mean, you know, De Ligt is also a record signing, bro. Like, oh, bro. Like that leaves a bad taste in that has to leave a bad taste in people's mouth. But I mean, it's Bayern, man. We'll see. They'll probably walk the league again this season. You know, so they signed 2 center backs. That's clear. They signed Mane. They're probably gonna look at a striker now. So we'll see how it goes. But moving on the situation. The last I think it's the last situation we're probably gonna cover before we dip. Who's winning the Italian Serie A for this coming season?
Serie A. Yo. I don't know. I'm just not gonna say. That's up in the air. It could be anyone. It could be even AC Roma could do something magical there. Juventus could do something intimate. Like there's no real like who's gonna win the league there. I there, bro. You caught me there, bro. Like I don't know that.
Yeah. Whoever's betting, whoever's gonna bet there, good luck.
A lot of money.
So I mean, we forget that Juventus also signed Di Maria. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes, man. We'll see. I think Di Maria was kind of like a Dybala replacement. So or was it Pogba? I don't know. It's one of those two, but we'll see how. I feel like it's whoever gets the best deals over the line in the next coming weeks. Personally, that's what I think. It could be AC Milan again. It could be a surprise. Personally, you know. So look out for that one. But yeah, man. I mean, we addressed everything we needed to address on the show. Hopefully, I'll bring you back as well as Mame to discuss the PSL. Because Chiefs have signed Super Sport have also brought back Kevin Hunt. You know, and a former schoolmate of mine has joined Pirates. You know, Miguel Tim. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we discuss. But then we'll look at the PSL and see how it goes. But it looks like teams are now serious. Chiefs is rebuilding.
Yeah, Chiefs. My only worry is too many players. Way too many players.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's gonna work. So we'll address that properly. We'll address that properly and see how they can maneuver, and then we'll also look at Sundowns, Pirates, and Super Sport as well.
Yeah, Dankley. Yeah, just cheaper. You know, Dankley has just become a coach there, so I'm very excited for him. Like I'm actually like I'm a fan of like the work that he's done in his career for the league. I mean, he's a legend. For him to be coaching Chippa
Yeah.
United is a great start for him. Yeah.
And yeah, we'll also be discussing if Mames wants to come back to football, as an assistant, or he wants to come back and play. Because last time he told me that he had an offer and he turned it down. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, thanks again for joining me. I know you had to take time off.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Yesterday I couldn't join. I only saw that you were live like after a while. I think my page
Yeah,
was
man.
flat.
You
And
know
then
what happened,
by the
man?
time when
On Instagram, I was trying to get my guest, and then she had problems with logging on to my live. So we tried like we tried Tambela Mandela Network. That's where I wanted to interview her, but it didn't happen. So I switched it to the T-Man show, and then I ended up on Facebook. So in the process of me trying to get hold or trying to make sure that she comes on my live, because I've never done a live on Facebook for some reason. I've just never done it like this. So
yeah,
it just didn't happen. Yeah. So basically, that's what happened. Yeah.
Oh, all right. But did you guys manage to like reschedule?
We just have to find a way of like. I think the problem is her phone or her. She just can't like even like accepting her. There's that icon where you accept to go live. It doesn't do it. It's not able to. I'm not able to go live with it. So like I just ended up leaving it alone, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. I hope everything you sort out everything out.
Yeah.
Guys get to do what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Hopefully Wednesday I'll be back and we'll be back together. Load shedding has been what? Did you guys go through load shedding today?
Yeah, we did. We actually did. But it's like I don't know, like odd hours. Like it changes, the time changes. It's like from a certain time, but when it happens like on the day, maybe 2 hours before. People will say, "Oh, the drone shedding," and then it happens for like an hour and a half. So you never know at what time during the day it's gonna happen. But it happens once during the day, and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we hopefully that comes to an end and then we can like do shows at pretty much any time. But no, thanks for joining me once again, my G. If you guys wanna follow him at Bogaman TV on Instagram, and it's the T-Man Tembela Mandela Network. And it's also T-Man Show if you want his hip hop side, because he does the hip hop shows and whatever that you do as well. Yeah, for me, it's Lesser Football TV on YouTube. Straight up posting this immediately on YouTube. I'm gonna premiere this video on YouTube. Yeah, just make sure you whenever you're on YouTube, guys, subscribe, smash the like button, whatever. And yeah, definitely we'll see you maybe Wednesday. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Please do follow me. Tambela Mandela Network. It presents the T-Man Show, Boogerman TV. You know, that's what I do. And yeah, man. And greetings to everyone. And hopefully things are gonna go well when it comes to this whole like load shedding. Oh man, like it's over. It's over. There's also something I want to address that is there are a lot of people getting hacked by my older accounts. So like just be careful, guys. My accounts are T-Man Show 1511, Boogerman TV, and the Tambela Mandela Network. So you can find me there. And yeah, if you getting approached by someone saying you want some money or you want some whatever, please do block that account because that is not my account. I've been trying to get that account back. I can't get it back for some reason. And a lot of followers are like kind of pissed off with me or pissed off with what what's happening.
We seriously need to get your account back. That one. Because some people have managed to recover their accounts. So we need to get your account back
I've been trying to get it back.
Khaled.
I've been trying to get it back. I just have to wait and see how to do it. And yeah.
Okay. I'll ask a friend because he got his back. And I've been willing to ask him how he did it. So that you can also be able to do it. Because it's sad. Even Mame has gone through this.
His account got bro, it's been hectic on the social media. Like
my guy.
Yeah.
No, my guy, thank you once again, and we will talk. Have yourself a lovely evening, and yeah, we are finally out.
Yeah, peace out, man.